all of you here this evening because you never know if anyone's going to come. And for anyone that is on our Zoom or YouTube right now, we welcome you as well. I love the idea of Selichot. I love the idea of it because for someone like me with an intense personality, it's nice to know that there's a point of time where you really have to just stop and think and reflect and put yourself in the mindset that the season is coming up that we have a chance to fully renew. And I'll speak for myself. I need to renew. So I really appreciate this opportunity, and I love to share it with all of you. As we begin, of course, we have Havdalah, and with that, in your little booklets, we have some readings that I'm going to be asking everyone to participate with me in this evening. Not quite yet, I just have to say here. Al has been practicing as my helper because I can't play the guitar, light the candle, smell the spices. I tried. I went to Amazon to see if I could get an extra arm. It does not. So, fortunately, Al is here to help. Our lights are dim right now because we want to appreciate the Havdalah. But after the Havdalah, if I don't remember, we'll bring those lights up. All of you say, lights. All right, so I'm going to start by teaching you a niggun that we need to sing to be able to bring in our Havdalah. So, la 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 Let me hear you all do it. Try it. There we go. Beautiful. One more time. Beautiful. So when we sing that this evening, as we do our Havdalah service, please fill in with that. That is magnificent. All right. We will begin on page 2, where I'll be singing Hine Yeshuati. Adjust this, see if I can do it. Here we go. Up, keep up. And now we read responsibly. Behold, God is my help. For the Eternal One is my strength and my song. And has become my salvation. With joy we draw water. The Eternal One brings deliverance. And blessing to the people. The God of the hosts of heaven is with us. The God of the strong. God of the hosts of heaven. Heaven is the one who trusts you. Save us, eternal one. Give us light and joy, gladness and honor.
As in the happiest days of our people's past.
Then shall we lift up the cup to rejoice in your saving power.
And call out your name in praise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. I'm gonna move that because I have to think this out, it's just killing me, and I don't want to be so close to you, so I'm gonna do a little here and move back so that I'm not so close. Just very, very hot to have you. You're still on. We continue on page 4 together. We give thanks for the Sabbath day now ending. We are grateful for its many blessings, for peace and joy, rest for the body, and refreshment for the soul. May something of its meaning remain with us as we enter the new week. Lifting all that we do to a higher plane, and inspire us to work with new heart for the coming of the day of redemption from every form of oppression. Of this redemption, the prophet Elijah is the symbol. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hanishi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hanishi, Nimrati Aminu, Yahweh Elinu, in Mashiach ben David, in Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hanishi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hanishi. Continue with our song to bring in our new week, leave our old and come into the new. Amatiru ben kodesh lechol, patotenu imachol. Sareinu v'chaskeinu, yad v'chachol, v'chachol halim halayla. Shavuato, 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 shavuato. A good week, a week of peace, with gladness, rain, and joyous peace. A good week, a week of peace, with gladness, rain, and joyous peace. And we conclude with this small little song with a melody that should be very familiar to you. So after the first line, I'm hoping everyone will be singing with me. For all the thoughtful things you say and the kindness that you show, may many blessings come your way wherever you may go. Now as we greet the coming week with joy and hope anew, we say Shalom to all with love and peace to you. You didn't have to teach it to you, and you just magically able to say that. So thank you so much. So here we are. Our lights are up. We just brought our race to the end, and now our new week has begun. And I'm wondering if Janet, could you read the bottom of page 5?
This Selichot forgiveness, service calls us to ready in our body, heart, mind, and spirit, the season of the Jubilee, return. And heeding the call or to return to our highest good self, may we release sins and habits that hold us in place. Forgive those who may have hurt us, and seek forgiveness for times we ourselves missed the mark. By this merit, may we and our loved ones merit joy for year.
Thank you so much. Mayomer Adonai, Salaki Idvarecha, Mayomer Adonai, Salaki Idvarecha, Mayomer Adonai, Salaki Idvarecha. Please stand for the Baruch. Baruch Adonai, Alleluia. Baruch Adonai, Alleluia. Baruch Adonai, Alleluia, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Oh, Shem, Yehod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. We continue on page 7 together. We are here, O God, to confess our faith, to declare our repentance for our sins against you and our transgressions against one another. Look into our hearts and know that we are right. Grant us your pardon, you who alone can give us peace. In the stillness of the night, we come to pour our hearts out to you, O God. Accept our prayers, direct our thoughts, may we emerge from this hour in readiness to do your will as children of the one eternal God, the God of compassion and love. Shalti me Adonai, Otamate. Shalti me Adonai, Otamate. Shiti Vei Adonai, O Yemei Hayai. Lazot Noam Adonai, Ulevaker Vei Alo. Lazot Noam Adonai, Ulevaker Vei Alo. The next meditation, Al, could you read that?
Summer had passed, the days were shorter. The sound of the colors of nature, the stirring of the wind, speak to us of change in the world, life in our course on earth. We are also about to enter upon the mixed spirit and of the soul. Reminds us of our changing lives. For all these, courage from every time, we would seek to give. Oh, my God, come to you, help us live for our soul. For there is none of us so virtuous, heart who would not cry out. Let us hear the words to which he is always one. Rabbi, I believe that indeed one day before your death, despite what you have, will anyone know on what day you will die? All the more reason to return to the Lord. Rabbi, in case you die before, look like expected.
Thank you so much. At home, I'm sure it's difficult for those of you that are watching to hear that, but hopefully you have the booklet that Becky sent out so that you could follow along on the meditation. So this evening, I didn't think we'd have it in us to watch a whole movie together. So I have a slight substitute for that. Let me take off my guitar and bring this over here. So we're going to have a little discussion. Trying to find one. Here's my stand. Little discussion about preparing for this time. So what does Selichot mean? Don't all fall out. I can't hear you in gymnastics. It's all over here. Is that right? That's exactly. And with that, there are questions. I'll put my answer in this. Try this one. See if that helps. Oh, I can't because of that. You know what I'll look forward to when we don't have to use the mask. Anyway, so it's about forgiveness, it's about reflecting. And the four questions, well, no, four questions. The four questions that we're thinking about tonight is, why is it important to forgive ourselves? And that's hard. A lot of people really can't. You hold on to something and then you're for no use. Like every time you say I'm sorry, some people will say I'm sorry, just like you take a drink of water. But sometimes you have to let it go, like the song of Frozen, for those of you that know that. And also, why is it important to forgive those who hurt us? That's very hard as well. Because you think if someone really cares about you, why would they hurt? Then why is it important to show mercy to those who feel are insensitive? And sometimes there's a retribution type of feeling when people are that way, but it doesn't put our head in the place that we in order to move forward and not have a lot of baggage. And then finally, why is it important to avoid judging others? That's something that, raise your hand if you've ever judged anyone. Come on, be honest with it. It's just how it is because we have a way of doing something and it doesn't always work in terms of how we would do it. So, you're going, why would they do that way? It could be as simple as, well, I've got a great story that my family will laugh at. So I have a very, very close friend who always makes the Naylock soup for every holiday at our house. And she's an artist, and everything is like a piece of art for her. And when it's time to dish out the soup, it's brought to the table. She wants several different types of spoons. She wants to make sure she has the right amount of chicken, the matzo balls in place, a carrot or two. She wants it all to look right. And it should take about 3 or 4 minutes to dish out the soup, but for her, it's quite an event. So one of our guests one time was so quiet, subdued in her feet. Clearly, she was just getting so agitated at this production that she got up and said, "Here, let me help you do this." She's like, she couldn't stand waiting for it. She said afterwards, why do people do it like that? But I really thought about, she's judging others. For her, it was important. It was important. So it can be something as simple as that, or it can turn into a political issue, or something that maybe one of your kids did that you might want them to do that way, etc. So today, what I'm going to do is by the rows, so that row, you're going to have question one. You're going to discuss that with each other. This row here, you're going to discuss group two, why is it important to forgive those who have hurt us. And this back row, illustrious back row, all right, you will do group three, why is it important to show mercy to those who feel are insensitive. And then, of course, my wonderful group four, why is it important to avoid judging others? So what you can do before I start the timer is just move yourselves in such a way so that you can communicate with each other with your chairs, all right? So whatever that takes so that you're able to communicate. Daniel, why don't you come here and turn these chairs around so that wonderful women can just stay right where they are. All right? Please make sure that you give everybody a chance to say something right here. Yeah, right here. To say something in your group, and I'll set the timer. And when the timer dings, if you can ask one person just to share on some of the thoughts that we discussed, I would love that. Okay? So here we go. Introduce yourself. For those of you at home, I'll just know that these are the discussion questions, and then you can think about these on your own as you share with each other.
goes on and on.
All right, let's get back together and let's share out. I see that this had a double. I see that this actually had a double benefit because people finished fairly quickly because it seems like in most groups there was a lot of agreement. Every now and then, though, a group of people like us may not always agree on everything. And so the conversation could be much more juicy. But anyway, with that said, so our group one, raise your hand, group one. All right, so the question was, which we'll cover very quickly, and then that was a much more interesting conversation. Why is it important to forgive ourselves? And can you, I love this.
I don't need a microphone. I don't need a mic. I have a
Well,
loud.
this is the people at home. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna just pull my mask down for a moment.
Okay.
All right, so we, each person gave their perspective of why, we need to be able to forgive ourselves. And we said, so that we don't dwell on our faults, because there's nothing can be good from that. And also we need to realize and recognize that we can be forgiven. Sometimes we think, well, what we did was unforgivable, but in truth, we can be forgiven for that. And then we said that we need to heal and get over our regrets. And lastly, we said, we need to forgive ourselves in order to move forward in a more positive way in life.
Thank you. That's really very helpful because I think sometimes we really can't think through that. So I appreciate that. All right, our group two. Why is it important to forgive those who have hurt us?
We all believe that it's important to forgive, because ultimately it hurts us more than possibly than the person who wronged us. And forgiving doesn't mean to forget. It's about to move on.
That is really true. Forgiving doesn't mean you forget it, but you have to move on. You have to move on so that you can let go and exist. Thank you so much. Group three. Why is it important to show mercy to those we feel are insensitive? Who's going to speak up first? You're going to have to speak really loud.
I will.
Yeah.
We all decided that,
Come here out. He wasn't a teacher. He can't use his teachers.
We all decided that, to give, at least my opinion, to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And, to forgive them because, life is short and they're welcome to their opinion. And, but we all decided it was also tough to do, to forgive someone with insensitivity. But you just have to be polite for it.
Thank you. How many people agree with that? Life is just too short to hold on to it. That's true. Okay, and now our fourth group. Why is it important to avoid judging others? Who's speaking up?
Well, I would say when I
Or right now?
my mother always told me, oh my God, up there, don't try and fall for everybody, but they can always try and fall for you if you don't think for yourself. And I heard that all through my growing up years. And that's what and they agree with.
They should agree. That is so true. And I think sometimes we go right into services for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and we don't always really take time to reflect. We just make sure we have something good to wear, that we're there on time. This year we have a mask. Like it's a lot of business stuff. And then you sit there and you may get involved with the not store, you might get involved with what's going on. You may have a Leah and you're thinking about that and getting ready for that. So it's really important to come out, especially during these times when we've really been forced in a new way to reflect on what we have because it's so different. So I appreciate all of you working with that, and I hope those at home kind of reflected on that as well. Let me get myself reset up now. We're going to continue on page 9. Shomer, Shomer, Israel. Shomer, Shomer, Israel. Shemor, Sheri, Israel. Shemor, Sheri, Israel. Together on page 9. God of goodness, search our hearts, revealer of evils, proclaimer of righteousness, good and ever to your creation, knower of all secrets, provider for the righteous, we have sinned before you, be merciful to us. Together on the top of page 10, you have taught us, O God, your covenant is life.
This day we remember your covenant, revealed from old to Moses, of the Lord.
As it is written, the eternal descendant of God, stood with him there and revealed the divine nature. God passed before Moses and said, Adonai, Adonai, Elohim Echad, Echad, Continue together, but here's all the Father, and the Spirit, and the Spirit comes, and it is God's blessing and shalom, taking us to the lighting our burden, dispelling our worry, restoring our strength, renewing our hope, guiding us. Continue now. On page 10, continue. So on page 11, as we move toward the end of our service, we reflected with each other. And now it's time for some silent reflections. These are some thoughts that you might consider, but whatever is in your heart now, I'm going to play something gently in the background. Use this time for your own personal time. We continue now with page 11. Or the show bar service. We have a little help with technology because there's no shofar in the room and my talents never went to a great embouchure to make that happen. So with that said, for those that are able to, please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav yitzivanu b'shma b'shofar Tekiah. Shevarim. Ruah. Tekiah. Tekiah. Shevarim. Tekiah. Tekiah. Teruah. Tekiah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu l'zman hazeh. Amen. Please be seated. I wish I could tell you that I recorded that. I don't have to be forgiven for not saying something like that. All right. We're now on page 12. you have been faithful to this people of reverence, please forgive your offenses in keeping with your boundaries. Vishana Tova Nikate, Vishana Tova Nikate, Thank you. Vishana Tova I so appreciate you coming out this evening to celebrate. I think just a wonderful time for us to do that, and I hope you're feeling ready to come into our special high holiday season. And for those of you who are some of you are coming to service, raise your hand if you're going to be coming physically. Okay, cool. Well, great. I look forward to seeing you then. And Rabbi Pink and I are really excited. We've been working constantly and trying to bring a beautiful service to all of you. So I hope that that's how it will come out. But if not, I'm sure I'll hear about it. So enjoy. Thank you so much. I like your